Glober. Now, this selfie with Taylor, Richard, shot with the royals, it did have that spontaneous feel to it, but something tells me about what I know about Camp Taylor as well, that it probably wasn't that straightforward, was it?
No, I'm sure it took lots of organisation. I think, it was Taylor Swift who had invited Prince William and his children to attend her concert. Remember, they do know each other, that Taylor Swift had sung at a charity concert at Kensington Palace about 10 years ago.
And dragged William on stage with her.
Yes, that didn't happen last Friday. No William on stage.
Although we did see some great dad dancing, didn't we? Yeah.
But I'm sure this selfie that was put on social media would have taken a bit of organisation. And there were things like, actually, the outfit she was wearing in the picture was quite demure. It was a sort of jacket rather than a more outrageous stage costume.
It was over. I know those costumes very well. I am a Swiftie. It was over a very skimpy leotard and boots.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So the fact she was wearing the jacket probably suggests she knows that generally their, social media is quite modest. So that again would suggest a bit of organisation.
And we did get more of an account of what happened from Taylor's boyfriend Travis, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, this was quite a relaxed account of their encounter, and I think before he was certainly not very interested in royalty or anything like that. But he made the point in a podcast with his brother Jason that he was actually quite sort of too nervous to speak, and he put his beer down, And
well, that is serious.
And talked about Your Royal Highness. Described William in some colourful language that I won't repeat on a family programme. But anyway, he seemed to be impressed, and I think there is that kind of aura of royalty that seems to impress Travis.
Sorry, I was going to say, he effectively said William was a very cool dad, and he also said, didn't he, I thought it was really sweet, that he was really impressed with Princess Charlotte. He basically thought she was a little firecracker, was asking lots of questions, and was really, really taken by her, which I thought was lovely.
I think I suspect that it might be Princess Charlotte who's the big Taylor Swift fan in the family.
Indeed. Well, the smiles on their faces, they really must have had the best night.
And they've not had the easiest year, have they? Everything they've gone through with their mother and their grandfather. And it does remind me of the days that Princess Diana used to take William and Harry to concerts. That was quite kind of revolutionary at the time, and I think it's nice that William is doing that, and I think he would have got a lot of cool dad points for taking something like that.
Yeah, it's a shame that Catherine didn't go with them, but she stayed behind to look after Louis, who was probably a bit young, really, for
I don't know. I would have loved to see Louis dancing at that concert.
He would have had a great time.
He would have been doing his little
3.5 hours, I think, and the atmosphere is just, if you need cheering up, go to a Taylor Swift concert.
Oh, I'm sure they'll take Louis next time Taylor's over.
Indeed. Well, she's doing more dates at Wembley soon. Can't wait. Now, you've been up to mischief again, Richard. You've written about William's friendship with Taylor and compared it to celebrity friendships of his brother across the pond.
I was just making the point in my article for Mail Plus and the newsletter that it's a very different relationship, because essentially Taylor Swift's here and she wants to, show her respect for the royal family, and in a way you could say sort of paying court to Prince William. Whereas with Harry and Meghan, I think it's the other way round, that they're the ones that always seem to be sucking up to the Hollywood royalty. They thought, I think, when they moved to California, we'll be at the centre of this kind of royal court and everyone will be, coming to see us. But it never seems to be working out like that. You often see them at concerts, or I remember we've actually seen them when they met Beyonce and Jay-Z, and it was a Disney premiere. And they were using the occasion to suck up to these bigwigs trying to get work for Meghan.
Well, I will say that William certainly looked like he was having more of a whale of a time at Taylor than Harry looked when he went to Beyonce. Do you remember?
It's definitely true, but people do say it's a bit unfair that you can see other pictures of Harry where he was having a jolly time. So it was just one picture.
But while we're on the subject, Rebecca,
wait for it.
It is noticeable, isn't it, that William's friendships are unlike those of his brother or even his father.
Yeah, I mean, so William has a very close-knit circle of friends. They're all, kind of landed gentry types, the kind of as they were once described, the Norfolk turnip toffs. But they are very close-knit and very loyal, and it's very difficult to get genuine stories out of this group of people, because
they are. I've been trying for 20 years.
they are very discreet and very protective. And I think when he does these celebrity moments, I think what's interesting is he does it, and they knew that selfie would break the internet. In fact, I even joked with someone in his team. I said, like, how many times can you break the internet in 1 week? This is the 3rd time you've done it. So I think he does it, but then he doesn't kind of labour it, and I think that's the difference. He does it, makes the point, look, the kids were here, it's Taylor's everyone, in London, everyone's talking about it. It's a bit of fun, and then we'll just go back off to the rest of our normal lives. He doesn't seem to want to kind of squeeze any more out of it, which I think goes back to the point that you were making about Harry and Meghan. And it did make me think of that moment in their Netflix documentary when they were sitting at a desk together. Do you remember? And then kind of Harry goes, oh, surprise, she's got a text message. Oh, it's off Beyonce, with this kind of terrible hammy acting. And, she goes, oh, well, I might just read it out. It says how wonderful I am, which to me was one of the standout cringe moments of that documentary. And I did think how differently William handled that star moment on Friday night.
The King and Queen's visit to the normally sleepy Channel Islands was interrupted not once, but twice. The first by a pair of amorous cows, and the second by a security scare, Rebecca explains.
So we were in the Channel Islands, Crown Dependency, big day planned, and there was a thing called Jersey Expo, which they were highlighting all the best of Jersey's agriculture and aquaculture. And there was a pen of 7 Jersey cows.
I think we're showing the viewers that clip now, so yeah.
7 Jersey heifers.
Heifers. I love
and
that
they
word.
will be given to the King as a present by the dairy farmers of Jersey. But just as Queen Camilla bent down to stroke one of these cows, and they are very beautiful, they've got kind of big Disney eyes and beautiful golden fur, one cow did what cows sometimes do and jumped on the other one right in front of her.
Look, I'll be honest, I could get aroused just thinking about Jersey clotted cream. I don't know about you. Yeah.
That's a whole other programme.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
And to be fair, she handled it really well. I mean, because I was standing behind the cow, so I really did get a bird's eye view of this. And we kind of caught each other's eyes, and she just absolutely corpsed. Because, of course, everything is very scripted on these things, and they quite like it when things don't really go to plan. I don't think they quite, expected that, but she took it in her stride.
I love that animals just, they don't really recognise royalty, do they?
They do what they do.
They do what cows will do what cows do. But also on a more sombre, serious note, there was a security scare. What on earth?
I genuinely and honestly, I saw some scepticism online about this. I have never seen anything like this happen in 20 years of covering the royals. And in fact, I actually asked, some of the police officers there, and they said, we've only ever seen this done once. So basically, we were at that same Jersey Expo, and I was with the King at that point, and suddenly I saw a police officer come up to him and whisper something in his ear, and they just started walking really quickly. So past all the people that were waiting to be introduced to him, and of course everyone was looking a little bit puzzled, and you could instantly tell something was up. And then I kind of moved over, because to my right there was Queen Camilla, and she was just tucking into an ice cream that she'd been given, and I saw her protection officer go up to her and actually say to her, you have got to leave now.
Wow.
And you could see the Queen's face was a little bit like, oh, well, I'm just eating my ice cream, can I finish it? It was very nice ice cream. And I heard them say, credible threat now. So you could hear everything click into action, and she was rushed out, again, past the people waiting, to a nearby hotel that they were going to stay in anyway, but clearly that must have been the designated safe spot. And what it turns out is that there was some unidentified person on a roof. And